views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.
Hi, welcome to the Cashman Mind, Body, Spirit show today. This is going to be very interesting and very important to most of you today because it's sugar addiction. We're addicted to sugar. We all are to some extent. And its relationship to diabetes. You can get rid of it, though, in 4 to 6 weeks. Usually I have a half-hour show on just diabetes. That'll be after this one today, and they are available on YouTube, Rudy Cashman. But this one is very hard for us to give up sugar because we're addicted to it. And because sugary foods are available year-round. They used to be in evolution available 6 months a year or something. But now they're available 12 months a year because of fast food restaurants and processed food. So the majority of people are addicted to sugar. Yes, and you say, "Oh, I'm just habituated." Okay, whatever. And I'm going to show you so you understand it a little bit, and then how to get rid of it. So you live to be 100 and play pickleball with me, like I did this morning, at age 89. Okay, so let's get on the road, okay? Let's get rid of it. So let's have a definition of addiction. And it is a psychoactive endorphin stimulating substances may be effectively used in tightly controlled settings. This for a short period of time, but you continue with them long term, you will always need that substances. We know there's some alcohol and cigarettes. And so the word endorphins we'll be using a lot today. And what are they? So I need to tell you about endorphins a little bit. Endorphin system is throughout our body. Every cell in our body makes some endorphins because we can use them to feel good. Like I played pickleball and I feel good afterwards for a period of time. So that's the endorphin effect. It's a system our body has. It is from head to toe. The brain, the skin, our feet, especially the organs, have a lot of endorphins in them. And you need to learn a little bit about it because there's a good part and there's a bad part. A doctor who wrote a lot about it is called The Molecules of Emotion by Candace Pert. You can get it in any library or buy them through Amazon, buy a used copy. I've learned one thing about Amazon is that you can buy a used copy at about 10% of the price. Yes, that's a real secret thing. So Molecules of Emotion. Another excellent book I found, and I'll speak more about these later, is William Bloom, The Endorphin Effect. Excellent book. And in great detail tells you how to activate it in great detail. You can also get them at the library or buy used copies online. And I'll speak more about these a little bit later. I also have another book I'd like you to consider, because remember I said sugar is addictive. And this book here, Fork in the Road, Fork in the Road, written by Dr. Jen Unwin and David Unwin from England. And they also have a lot of YouTube shows. You can pull them up by putting their names in. It has great websites, and this is and Jen, Dr. David Unwin's wife, is a psychologist, because remember we were speaking about addiction today, and she will give you the great details, and other people in this book too, and great websites. They're in there. They even get food recipes in there. So this, I think, is a very excellent book. So let's go on. So endorphin hormones are secreted by every cell in your body, okay? Are secreted in the brain and give a quick feel-good sensation. Alcohol does it, yeah. Many people, actually are drinking too much, but to have one glass of wine, science now doesn't even support that, but one glass 2 or 3 days a week, I think will be fine. It makes you feel good. Narcotics stimulated quickly, but also sugar, alcohol, cigarettes, and it took a long time for us to catch up to the industry. So we revealed the science of smoking and how bad it affects our health. If you light up a cigarette, it affects every cell in your body. But remember, and that's because endorphins are in every cell in your body. So when used in a chronic, long-term way, they can cause a lot of harm. They are abused because they affect the endorphin system, and endorphins are the system that can cause you to become addicted. Mm-hmm. Sugar affects them, alcohol, cigarettes, and many other things that you hear about. So if the person ignores that or distorts the reality of that harm, they become addicted to what they're taking. Yeah, you feed sugar to your baby, or the mother eats a lot of sugar while the baby is still in the uterus. The baby may be born already an addict. That's true. So mothers need to be careful whether they're smoking or they're drinking or they're singing songs and taking vitamin M. Oh, what's vitamin M? Music. I took my vitamin M this morning. I speak to my Echo machine. I say, Alexa, play Rudy's playlist. You can do that anywhere if you get a Alexa machine and say, play Rudy playlist. Early in the morning, 10 songs will come up. That'll make you dance and feel good in the morning. That's when I do my exercise. Yes, start of my exercise, okay? However, like nicotine addiction, in the 1950s and 60s, society has yet to come to terms with the toxic, addictive nature of carbohydrates. Sugar, complex sugar, are called carbohydrates. We still have not readily admitted. The medical doctors don't speak about it. They just give you a drug or insulin or something, and probably 80% of the people in our community, in our state, are sugar addicts. You may not believe it. And I'm not being judgmental about it. I'm doing something about it. I'm giving you the information. And I want you to use this information and read more. Look at my other YouTube shows, other people's YouTube shows. I noticed this book, Fork in the Road, is endorsed by Dr. Robert Lustig, very famous individual. So the closest we have come to incorrectly assigning the label of addiction to food, but not all food is addictive. Nutrient food is not addictive. So I'm going to teach you about that. So food that has nutritional value, has in it vitamins and minerals and nutrients, is not addictive. Yes. So you must learn to choose between the two, and I'll teach you that, because it doesn't stimulate the endorphin system. It is the endorphin system that is throughout your body. If you stimulate that, that is addictive. So it is impossible to become addicted unless you stimulate the endorphins, our endorphin system in our body. If you eat nutrient-dense food, it's not addictive, and you will not become addicted to it. You don't get overweight if you eat nutrient-dense food. If you don't eat sugar or complex sugar carbohydrates, you will not get diabetes. You'll be of normal weight, and you'll feel good. It's interesting. So carbohydrates are an endorphin-releasing drug. Yeah, not a hunger-satisfying drug. Yes. Human physiology is controlled by feedback mechanisms. For example, if you drink too much water, and the feedback system will tell you, I'm not thirsty. So it turns off the thirst. Water has no action on the endorphin system. Interesting. Hunger center is tightly controlled is tightly controlled by essential food, protein and fat. That is the essential fat. We have no need for carbohydrates. Yes, people don't realize that. And they're controlled by a feedback system, ghrelin, from the stomach, and leptin, which is is an enzyme that turns on or off the amount of fat you're consuming. So no nutrient activates the endorphin system. Sugars, carbohydrates have no feedback system. You just keep on eating it, and that's why you become addicted to it. And but they are endorphin activators. Two major errors have obscured our ability to recognize this causal pathway to type 2 diabetes. And I'll teach you about this a little bit. First, assigning carbohydrates to more or less healthy for diabetes depending on the glycemic index. They did that, and that's well known. You see it in the literature, but it was incorrect because they overlooked some things. So on the glycemic 80 or 90 would be, they would say it's a bad food. If it's 60 or 70, it's a good food, but if it's sugar, it affects the endorphins, and it's addictive. So this concept was created by Dr. David Jenkins in Toronto, and is popularized by the McGovern Commission in our country in 1977. That's when our sickness overweight, obesity epidemic began. But I would like to remind you too, it is not just the overweight or obese people that have these diseases. 30% of the people of normal weight can be diabetic. Mm-hmm. If you want to, so when people say, I don't have diabetes, my blood sugar is normal, I say to them, I want to know your serum insulin. Get it. Everyone should get it. I get it. And I've shown it to people on the previous TV shows, and it's normal. So the glycemic index made two critical assumptions. Carbohydrates are essential for human consumption. That's not true. We don't need them. Protein and fat is all we need. And so glycemic index is really unrestricted to carbohydrate consumption. They failed to test carbohydrate abstinence, did not consider being addicted to it. And it may stabilize diabetes, but it does not put diabetes into remission. Your blood sugar may be down, and you take some sugar or carbohydrates, and the blood sugar goes back to normal, and you're feeling great, but you still got diabetes. Yeah. So asking someone to tightly control their relationship with a substance they have really lost control of is inadvisable. Okay? The Achilles heel of the glycemic index concept can be more readily applied to alcohol. And how difficult it is for people to have one drink, usually have another. Although, as I said, an occasional glass of wine does not appear to be addictive, but not everyone would agree with that, okay? You cannot have type 2 diabetes if you don't consume carbohydrates. Huh? So you got to know what you're eating, okay? Just like alcohol, opioids, nicotine, sugar behaves the same way. That's the reason I have this special program here. And so once permission is granted, an alcoholic can't stop. You have a couple of drinks, you can't stop. Many food manufacturers use camouflage. Yes. And as an instinct, I'm not picking out one particular business, but I think we need to. And this came out of a book here. Starbucks is just a speakeasy, an addiction center. I know a lot about it, and because I wrote most of my books, I've written 25 books, I sat in Starbucks drinking coffee, and I watched the people around me, and I didn't really realize the head of one of the hospitals one day, he got 4 things that he bought, and he went over there and he took a thing of sugar and added it on every cup of coffee. I drink coffee, I don't add sugar. To drink some coffee in the morning is okay. Drink water in the morning is okay. Instinct. So I observed a lot of things. So type 2 diabetes needs to classify what they consume as healthy or harmful, based on the carbohydrate content and the nutrient content on the label, which they're not doing. They disguise sugar in many different names, so you don't even recognize them. And so what we need on the label is a nutrient content versus the carbohydrate content on food. Then we know have useful information. Okay. The World Health Organization gets type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes interaction between vulnerability to addiction and genetic predisposition. We need to know the difference. And so the endorphin pathway, which we are talking about, the addictive pathway, is a vital human system used to deal with all emotions. The endorphin system deals with our emotions, so there's the good part and the bad part. So the stress, boredom, pleasure, anxiety, depression, how it makes us feel, are affected by the endorphins. The human brain can only focus usually about 20 minutes on any one time and needs a short time to recalibrate itself. So a few times a day we need to rest and relax, maybe take a nap, maybe take a walk. And so all humans have a variety of endorphin activity strategies. Pickleball, tap dancing, singing a song, reading, taking a walk. These are things that make me feel good. So there are two types of endorphins relaxation strategies. Okay, like I mentioned, pickleball, vitamin M in the morning. I use my Echo machine. Alexa, play me a song that makes me happy. Then I play others that help put me asleep. So again, the endorphin system is good and is bad. So consumption of a psychoactive substance, while powerfully activating the endorphin system, soothes, numbs, obliterates emotions, but does not allow for processing. There's no counter-regulating system that turns it on or off. You've got to do that yourself, okay? So well-adjusted people use a variety of endorphins-releasing mechanisms, elevating without harm, and we spoke about them already. Exercise, vitamin M, and this book, which I pointed out to you, by William Bloom, The Endorphin Effect. It's an excellent book to read because he is into many different systems and how to increase your good feeling endorphins in great detail. And he calls it the strawberry effect, how to develop. And we all need about 10 different things at least or more that make us feel good. So we don't need to reach for the alcohol or the cigarette or the addictive drug. So well-adjusted people use a variety of endorphin releasing mechanisms. Vulnerability to addiction primarily occurs in two. There are some people that are more likely to become addictive, and the ones people that are personally highly authoritative. Now, I've noticed that in some of my successful friends, many of them don't look very healthy. Many, when I speak to the business forum, which I'm invited to, a lot of them are diabetic and don't know it, and they're going to suddenly probably grab the chest and have a heart attack and die. 50% of the people die of a heart attack. They just grab their chest and they're dead. Mm-hmm. So to know what your blood work is critical. And so both have to, and then the other people that have hedonic personalities, permissive personalities, both have dysfunctional emotional managed systems. So how are we going to cure type 2 diabetes? Let's get into that. Remember I said 80% of the people in this community are diabetic, maybe 40% of them know them, but it's not properly taught at the medical school level. It's not properly taught at the school level. Google what our kids ate in school today, and you'll find it's nothing but addictive medications. We are people who have to eat the school food. The majority are turning into sugar addicts. And their parents probably did the same. I'm not being judgmental. I'm trying to do something about it, because you end up with blindness, sudden heart attacks, amputated legs. Yes, people who are amputated are usually diabetics. Most people with heart attacks, it's due to sugar consumption. In order to set remission as a goal for our diabetic patients, we need to partner with them in the treatment process. We need to give them information, which I'm doing. And remember, if you're already on medications, don't start getting rid of them without more knowledge and speaking personally with the person who prescribed them. It's a good chance, though, that your medical provider doesn't know how to get rid of diabetes. That's my experience. I've talked to many physicians. They get no living idea that you can get rid of diabetes in a few weeks. You need more information. Read these books. So treat and promote the solution. I'm for promoting the solution. This is what I'm working with, and I need partners, and I do have partners. I sold my house in Devil's Hollow and moved downtown to the riverfront apartments instead of moving to Naples, Florida, where I owned a house on the ocean. I decided coming here and teaching is more important. We thank Andrew Carnegie providing these libraries. In these libraries, everything is free. You know what I'm doing here now? I have two shows which go to YouTube, and I thank Eugene at the library who sends it to YouTube very quickly. This show will be on YouTube probably within an hour or two. Yes. Then I'm starting podcasting here. They have a podcast studio. They give lectures here next Monday. I'm at 6 o'clock. I've got 2 hours where I will personally appear and talk to people who want to come for free and teach them what I'm talking about here. I started that series. A lot of this goes to the radio, public access TV. This goes to radio. So we have to be very thankful for Andrew Carnegie, who provided all this money, and he put libraries all over the world. And the sign on the ceiling says, everything in this library is free. This information is free to save your life. Come on. So let's take ownership of the problem, okay? People who have type 2 diabetes, they're eating about 75 to 90% of foods full of sugar and carbohydrates. You got to identify, what am I eating? What am I eating? The diabetics typically have 15 to 20 food consuming events a day. They drink sugar, they have drinks with sugar in them. Yes, the biggest cause of type 2 diabetes is sugary drinks. Yes, sugary drinks. Cut them out, but you still got to go after the food. So removal is important. So we need cognitive behavioral therapy for carb addicts. That's why I'm talking about addiction here. You got to remove it to get rid of the addiction. It may not be easy. So abstinence is the goal. But many people can do it over a 2 or 3 week period. An easy way to do it, I have found, I eat 2 meals a day. Our brain secretes about 5 different hormones that keeps our blood sugar early in the morning like this, so I don't feel like eating. Try it sometime. It might take you a week or two to get used to it. Also, while this is happening, your body's undergoing autophagia. Damaged cells can be fixed and made into a substance that stays in the body, or if the body can't fix it, the liver may chew it up, or you pee it out in the urine. So autophagia is a good eating 2 meals a day. If you had my schedule, like I'll eat 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and if you eat a fairly healthy meal of protein and fatty substance, like good fats, guacamole, for example, with a couple of eggs, maybe some bacon, and that's 1 meal. You only got 1 to go. No matter what you eat the second meal, I think you'll have no disease and be of normal weight. That makes it easy. That makes it easy. So we need to get you away from the high carb environment and processed food. If you're taking your kids to eat at processed food places, fast food places, you're turning them into sugar addicts. Odds are they are already sugar addicts if they're eating the school the food in the schools. And you look at it yourself. You will see. And so carbohydrates rules the addict's life, which are lost when the addict abstains from carbohydrates because they're eating nutrient-dense food, which has a turn on, turn off system. They are not regulated by the endorphins, and some things are added to bad food because of government regulations, but it's not very much. So to eat a little bit of these addictive foods is okay. So, but the nutrition will be enough to keep the diabetic alive, but not healthy or nutritional if they're eating the bad food. Diabetics are, by definition, malnourished. They're not eating enough nutrient-dense foods. They're not getting the correct amount of vitamins and minerals. Carbohydrates, sugar, are powerful endorphin. Remember, nothing regulates our endorphins, activators, but function through dysfunctional mechanism of emotional repression. It affects our emotions so much that we want to keep on eating these foods because the alcohol, the cigarettes, they make us feel good, but they have severe side effects in our body. So we need to understand our endorphin system can make us feel good by playing sports or taking vitamin M or music or walking, or they can destroy our lives. So we need replacement to recover fully. Patients need to replace them. Carbohydrates with real food are essential to human healthy existence. Mm-hmm. And using fat and protein as a primary macronutrient, you need to change from an endorphin snacking eating pattern to a nutritional pattern, because remember the nutrients have an on and off system while the endorphins do not, allowing the thirst and hunger to take back control. Nutrition away from the endorphin center. Okay? Humans require 1 to 3 nutritional events a day. Remember I said 1 to 3 meals. If you were to read, here's another book, I think it's very good if you don't want to read a lot more. It says, I want to answer very simply. One book, Susan Ryan's book, Simply Keto. You can get it on Amazon. $40 new, $4 used. Yeah, I figured that out. I once spoke to a group of 20 diabetics at a church, and and I saw on Amazon, and there was a book I was going to recommend to them. Then I found out $4. So I bought all 21. When I walked in, I gave everybody this book. And it's by Susan Ryan's books. Has in it 70 pages of explanation as to what a keto way of eating, or and then she explains in great detail, and then has breakfast, lunch, 3 meals a day, not 2 like, but you could take her book and just eat 2 of them. And you'll be rid of diseases leading to or reversing diabetes. About a month, maybe even quicker. But she has pictures of the meals, yes. And on each page she has the number of carbohydrates, protein, and fat in each recipe, yes. And she keeps, it's like 4 or 5 things you gather to have a wonderful, great tasting. It's not that you're going to be eating bad tasting food. This will be excellent food. So what you do in nutrition, you're taking it away from the endorphin center. And humans require 1 to 3 nutritional events a day, but 2 a day is fine. So more frequent events are for the mind, not the body. You're feeding the addiction center. This also keeps insulin levels low, which allows the body to use fat. If you don't eat sugary substances, the sugar level and the insulin level, which depends on the sugar level, goes down. Our fat cells open up, they go to the liver and make ketones, and ketones are loved by the brain and the organs and the muscles. That's the reason I recommend ketone whey. And but keeping the insulin levels basic allows the body to use fat to suppress hunger. Abstinence is the goal. We do include a few carbohydrates, mainly because those additional minerals, vitamins that the government puts in there. It does not grant permission, though, to consume carbohydrates as dominant foods. Okay, and what other people don't realize, eating rice and potatoes, they're sugar. Rice and potatoes are sugar. There are people in India ate mainly basmati rice. They were okay, but when fast food was added on top of that, they have the largest number of diabetics in the world. China's 2, US is 3. We have a higher percentage. Probably 70-80% of people around us are diabetic. It's not 40 or 50. Yes. And government, our health department allows it. That's why I'm standing on this podium doing TV shows, lectures. And so vegetables are free. You can eat essentially all the vegetables that you want, but I am not recommending totally vegetable diet because fats have in it some minerals and vitamins that are not in vegetables. So especially if you eat none, don't eat the roots of the vegetables. Just eat what's above the ground, okay? Because there are more carbohydrates in the roots, like the potatoes, for example. And and they don't have endorphin activating systems in them. The nutrient value far exceeds, there's a few carbohydrates in them, but you can tolerate a few. Remember I said, far exceeds the carbohydrate content. So from a nutritional standpoint, vegetables are free to eat, but not after juicing. If you take the orange and just eat your orange, that's fine. But if you squeeze out all the fiber and you drink the juice. Orange juice is a high sugar food. And you'll see it on the list what we're feeding our kids in school. Yes. Which is a method of extracting the drug from the food. So we juice high sugar food. So after a rough, stressful day, no person is reacting, is reaching in the fridge for broccoli to soothe their mental anguish. Okay? They want something that immediately makes them feel better. Not a drug, not alcohol, not a cigarette. So secondly, replacement requires building up a repertoire of endorphin alternatives, things that make you feel good, preferably action-based rather than consumptive-based. It is common for smokers who successfully quit they switch to another addiction, sugar. And now they're overweight. They were alcoholic, now they're diabetic. This happens very, very commonly. So give up addiction and switch. They are switching addiction one to another. So they're doing a drug transfer. Alcoholic may switch to diabetes, cigarettes to diabetes. So create a fortress of solitude so you can escape and meet your emotional needs. We all have emotional needs. I have emotional needs, and if you were to put a donut in front of me here, a very good chance I'd be eating it, because none of us are resistant to that, but I get away with it since I weigh 135 pounds. It doesn't affect me that much. But for another person, it may affect you. And so you need to develop a different endorphin-releasing pattern to get rid of your addiction. So doctors, patients and doctors need to realize blood sugar can normalize very quickly. If you eat the right way, you can get rid of your diabetes and addictions 2 or 3 weeks. Some think days, especially if you go to eating 2 meals a day, and maybe in 1 week your diabetes is gone, as long as you stay eating the right food. If you change, so we don't talk about cures. These are good as long as we're doing them, okay? So we need to pay attention to your medications, which I mentioned already, and adjust them when you're changing. And a good way to do it now, they have monitors on here, but they're expensive. They the first one may be free, but after that, $200 a month. Some people can't afford that. But what I have found, and I do this to teach people, I bought a smart watch a year ago, and it was $60, and I'm trying to see if it's accurate or not. So let's check my blood sugar here. You know, to go on a show is a little bit stressful. So cortisone, stress will increase the blood sugar. And I checked it a little while ago. It was 190, but we'll see in a minute. So these smart watches, I've checked it. Yeah, it's 111, but mine was 85 when I began the show. So I think they're pretty accurate. And get a smartwatch if you can't afford to get one of those glucose monitors, Lifestyle, Libre, those for example. And if you're doing these things and your blood sugars are going up and down, you need to monitor your blood sugar. You got to do that because rarely does it go too low, but it can, and you start feeling dizzy and have symptoms of blood sugar. If you get this, blood sugar is below 140, for example, you may have the medication, and especially if you're on insulin. But check with your doctor if you're doing this. So if it rebounds to 160, you may need to increase the medication a third again, but don't follow these recommendations. I'm just giving you an example. Most type 2 diabetics are able to get off medication within 2 to 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Look at all the money you save. Insurance may pay a little, but you're paying something. Another good test to get is a C-peptide test, and that will measure your insulin level. It means insulin levels will remain elevated longer because of insulin resistance. It takes a while to correct it. Your HbA1c will come down slower because it's based on 3 months of blood sugar levels. And remember, I said, get a serum insulin test. I don't care if you're of normal weight or you're overweight. I don't have diabetes, my blood sugar is normal. It means nothing to me. I want to know your insulin level. If that's normal, okay, you're not diabetic. And there are no powders or potions that can cure addiction. Okay, abstinence is about the only thing that you can do. So the book I showed you, the endorphin effect by William Bloom. So I want you to know a little bit about the things that make you feel good. Maybe take vitamin M. Tell your Alexa, your Echo machine, your Alexa, play Rudy's playlist, and 10 songs will come in the morning that make you feel good again. Good morning. Hormones are released, and the endorphin system is called to go to work. Okay, and endorphins reduce tension if you're doing the right thing. If you're singing songs or walking or exercising, endorphins will be released and you'll feel better. So it has emotional and mental triggers. So our goal should be to maximize our positive effects of our endorphin system, which is present in every cell of your body. The feelings factory, understanding endorphins, they're made by every living cell. It goes back to the smallest bacteria even have an endorphin system. Yes. Best known public figure, Candace Pert, wrote a book called Molecules of Emotion, which I shown you already. And she discovered the opiate receptor. She was looking through an electron microscope and saw that cells which are very extremely small, the electron microscope makes them bigger. She saw things sticking out. They made it a protein, and she's the one that discovered it, working at National Institute of Health around 1970, a little bit before, a little bit after. She really became involved with this. In 1975, Dr. John Hughes in Europe discovered, he called them enkephalins. In this country, we named them endorphins. There was someone working over here, Kenneth Pert, and they, in essence, are morphine produced by our own body, the feel-good hormones. So the endorphins are really our own morphine. Okay. All amino acids, we have 100 different proteins in our body, and our DNA is made from proteins, okay? And endorphins made throughout the body, not just your brain. They're made in every cell. I think you got it now. So they affect in health, they affect the immune systems, immunity, defenders of illness have in them. They reduce pain. They're in our GI tract, in our vascular system. They're affected by respirations. We breathe real fast. We feel better. Vomiting, immune system, reproductive system. Yes, in the reproductive system, oxytocin, the one that contracts the uterus to deliver the baby, is an endorphin. So you may say it's the most famous endorphin, okay? And when we become stressed, they're secreted. So they cause us to be motivated. So endorphins decrease stress, or they can increase pain, and they can decrease cancer. They can increase cancer, depending whether our immunity has been affected. So another good book to read is Anatomy of an Illness by Norman Cousins. He had a spine that had become totally stiff, and he was having tremendous pain. And he found, by watching a funny movie, the pain was less for a few hours because it was secreting happy endorphins, okay? But then the body metabolized them, and they were gone. So what he did was at psychoneuroimmunology, laughter, funny movies. He would have 2 hours of no pain, and he wrote a book about it. He even visited Dr. Schweitzer, a German who around 1900, 1910 went to Africa, and he was standing there with Dr. Schweitzer, and a voodoo doctor, a native, came in, and Dr. Schweitzer was showing him that he had learned, after worked there for many years, if that native doctor would point a finger at someone that had been ostracized by their family, that person might just collapse and die. He secreted a high amount of negative endorphins because he believed no one in the world wanted him. So that was called the voodoo effect. Okay, don't do that to me. Well, probably won't work because I won't believe it. Okay, so endorphin affect the whole body, not just the brain or the heart. And and you can learn to, in the morning, to wake up. You can practice a routine. You can lie in bed, bringing your attention into your own body. That's one way of dealing with it. You can scan your whole body. You scan it to relax, let the muscles relax, put a smile on your face, and good endorphins will be secreted. You'll have relaxed. Move and stretch your toes and fingers. Give your body some attention. See something friendly about it. Maybe even sing a song or turn on Rudy's list. And the songs will come up on your Echo or Alexa machine. Stay comfortably in bed, and you're on the earth and surrounded by nature. Maybe you see the stars above you. You're learning to relax your body. And above you, you can see the sun with its light. All around is the universe and a million of stars, and you can see them, pretend you see them all around as the universe, millions of stars. Lie there relaxed and patient, and softly allow yourself to be aware of the earth, the sun, and the universe. Now you are starting in a very relaxing way. Remind yourself, this is my true environment. So scan again, the world is better. Stretch for comfort, it is morning. Alexa, if it's night, then play some night music. Mr. Echo. So in this book, which I showed you before, well, William Bloom developed some strawberries. Those are good endorphins. Have a list of things you do, the one you lie in bed I told you about. And so music gives the biggest pleasure. So I think to play some music in the mornings, do light exercise in the morning, music really is the best way. The sounds, because the music captures the whole brain and is spread then throughout your body. So make a list and then pick out the best ones for your songs. If you're listening to Rudy's playlist, listen to it once and decide what music you like, not what I like, but I'm just giving an example of what to do. The Japanese get involved with this too a little bit, and they develop a system of maintaining your strength and what to eat, and they ended up having the lowest overweight people in the world, only 5%. But I noticed lately, looking at YouTube shows, theirs has gone up too. So if you see a difficult situation, learn not to react. Listen, but keep the smile on your face and pay attention to your body. So don't react to someone's nasty comments, which we all get, okay? Develop your strawberry list. Remember I told you about that? So I think I've told you, I think that we become easily addicted to sugar and carbohydrates I want you to start paying attention to what you're eating. You may be getting a smart watch or one of these monitors, Lifestyle Libre, one of these, and see what your blood sugar is doing in your life. If you're skinny or fat, either one can be diabetic, because fat in the liver or the pancreas may not cause you to be overweight, but they will interfere with the secretion of insulin. You can be a diabetic and be a normal weight. Yes. I think I've got this information to you. And here at the wonderful library on next Monday, I'm starting a series of lectures once a month. They will be, and I have a poster you can get, and I'll be podcasting and these TV shows, and we have radio shows, and we can turn on public access, because I think diabetes and its diseases cause so much disability that you start participating here with us. And then we go to YouTube, and my friend Eugene does that, and you'll be better and live to be 100 and play pickleball with me. I did this because I love it. That's more important. I care about you. And I am a doctor, but I'm 89 in April, 135 pounds, no illness, no pills. One case may not mean much, but maybe it does. I do this because I care about you. I love you. Thanks for watching this show, and we'll do another one in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.